Hi everybody! In this video we're going to have a look at transcribing using the IPA. This video is part 2, so if you're new to transcribing, please make sure you watch part 1 first. We're going to use the chart for British English in this video. And this is our context and our utterance that we want to transcribe. At the moment, I'm a waitress and I live in Barcelona. Next year, I want to go on and train to become a top chef. So you can see the waitress here and her dream. This is the utterance that we are going to transcribe. And in this utterance, you will see examples of weak forms, intrusive y and w, linking r, assimilation, elision, aspirated t, and linking. Let's get started. So here we've got the IPA chart with all the sound symbols of British English, the monophthongs, diphthongs, and consonants. And if you're new to this chart, make sure you watch my other video where I explain all about the phonemic chart. So here is the utterance, and we're going to first of all transcribe each word individually. Here's the first line. At the moment, I am a waitress and I live in Barcelona. Next year, I want to go on and train to become a top chef. Now, obviously, when we speak naturally, we do not say the words individually. And that is why we have a lot of features of connected speech in this utterance at normal speed. Because really, this sounds like, at the moment, I am a waitress and I live in Barcelona, etc. So let's have a look at all the different features of connected speech. We're going to have a look at weak forms first. We have the word and to twice in this utterance. Now, and to will be in their weak form, and if you know anything about weak forms, they usually contain the sound and that is the schwa, the central vowel sound. So what happens? And is reduced to end or even just un. So I'm going to say all three again. And, un. Most likely it is the last reduced form, un. To will be reduced to either to or t. Again, most likely it is the last one with the schwa. So we're going to replace those with un and t. Waitress and I, waitress and, or want to, go on and train, to become. So hopefully you'll hear the weak forms with the schwas very clearly now. Let's have a look at the next feature of connected speech, and that is intrusive y. I want you to focus on those two words and how they sound, and that is I and am, but when I say those fast and together, I am, you will hear a sound appearing in the middle, and that is y. I and am together, I am. And the y almost helps us to link from one word to the next. It's almost like the glue holding these two words together, I am. So this is an example of intrusive y in connected speech. I am, y in the middle. Next, we also have an example of intrusive w in this utterance. And for that, I want you to focus on go and on. Listen carefully. Go one, go one, go one. There is a w appearing between go and on. If we wanted to say this without a w, we would have to pause. Go on. And that would slow us down. It would interrupt the speech. And so usually what happens quite naturally is we pronounce a w in between. Go one, go one, go one, go one. And next we're going to have a look at an example of linking r. Here I want you to focus on year and the word I. They're next to one another. And I've also highlighted the spelling above because here you can see that the word year really ends in a r, in an r. But in the transcript, when we say the word on its own, it is just year. Now, this is with a non-rhotic accent like myself. In British English, usually year, the R is not pronounced. However, what happens when the word I comes next, starting with a vowel sound, a diphthong here? Listen carefully. Year I, next year I, year I. There is a little r appearing. So the R from the spelling year is now pronounced with a r. Year I, year I. It doesn't always happen, but very often it will happen. Many speakers will add a r sound here, and this is a linking r. So we've got year I. Let's have a look at assimilation next, because we do have an example of assimilation in our utterance. I want you to focus on these two words, in Barcelona. But again, listen carefully when I say them fast and repeat them after me and pay attention to the sound n. Do you notice anything? In Barcelona, in Barcelona, in Barcelona, in Barcelona. The n has changed and became a m. So we don't say in, we say im. And that is because the next sound, b, in Barcelona, is formed with both our lips closed, and so is m. It's also formed with both lips closed, so this is an example of assimilation in our utterance, in Barcelona. Now there is another example of assimilation, and this does not always appear, but it might appear with some speakers. Have a look at the word next and year and listen. Next year, next year, next year. Sometimes people might really say next, and then a sh comes up instead of the s and t. Next year, next year. This is possible. It doesn't always happen. Now let's have a look at an example of elision. And in fact, we have more than one example here. I want you to focus on the following words: at, moment, and next. We just had the word next. Now, there's something else happening here with that word. Elision, to remind us, really means that the final t is dropped. And we have at, moment, and next, all ending in a t sound. But listen to the utterance: at the, at the, at the. So here we have a the, a voiced th sound in the article the, and the t is really lost. We just say at the, at the. Then listen to the next word. At the moment I. At the moment I am. At the moment I am. Moment very often will lose its final t. It's also dropped. Because t, we need to really, it's a plosive sound. We have to release the air. It again slows us a little bit down. It's faster to just go from the n to the I straight away. And so very often that final t is dropped here. At the moment I am. At the moment I am. At the moment I am. Let's have a look at next. Here, the next word is year. So, next year. Next year. Here again, the t is dropped. We just say next year. Next year. Next year. Next year I. Next year I. So, at the moment I. Next year. And an example of aspirated t. We've got the noun top chef, and top, the t is in the initial position here, and very often in initial position, t will be aspirated. If you're not sure, you can always hold a piece of paper in front of your mouth, say the word top, top, and because there is the t with a little puff of air, the paper will most likely move. And if it does move, that means the t is aspirated. So I would say most speakers will have an aspirated t here. Top, top, top chef. And we show this with a little elevated H. Okay, that elevated H means the t was aspirated. And last but not least, let's have a look at some linking. We have the word want followed by to, and there's really the same sound next to one another, the t in want at the end and then t again in to. And of course, we would not pronounce them separately. If we wanted to, we would have to pause. Again, that would slow us down. We don't really say that. So want to. Want to. That's really just one t sound. So in the transcript, we would only put down one t. Want to. So they're linked. Want to. However, it is also possible to link them even further and drop the t entirely. And very often, instead of want to, you will hear people say wanna, wanna. Next year I wanna go on. Next year, I want to go on. I want to go on. I want to go on. That is very common and sounds also very natural. So here is the entire utterance again, and this time this is most likely what most people would say. I'm going to read it out again, and let's see if you can see the weak forms: intrusive y and w, linking r, assimilation, elision, aspirated t, and linking. At the moment, I am a waitress and I live in Barcelona. Next year, I want to go on and train to become a top chef. Of course, because this is an utterance, you might also wonder, well, where is the sentence stress here? Now remember that in English, content words usually carry the stress. And that is because content words really carry the main information. And I've put them in orange in our spelling. Moment, waitress, live, Barcelona. Next year, go on, train, become, top chef. Those words are content words. Those are usually verbs, adjectives, nouns, etc. And if you were only to hear those words, of course, it would not be proper grammar, but you could make sense of the message more or less. However, the other words, at the, I am, and, I, in, I want to, and, to, they don't carry content. Those are function words, grammatical words. They help us build the sentence. But if you only heard those, you really would not know what I was trying to tell you. So the content words are stressed because remember, when we stress words, they are a little bit longer, a little bit louder. There's usually pitch change as well. And that means the listener will hear them more clearly. So let's have a look now. We can, of course, show this also in a transcript. And very often what we use is stress bubbles. Now, I use them with my learners because it's quite simple. Every bubble represents a syllable. The small bubbles are unstressed syllables, and the big bubbles, also the ones in orange, are the stressed syllables. Now, if I just go back again, initially I just showed you the entire word, but of course, words like moment or Barcelona consist of several syllables, and not all of the syllables will be stressed. Only one of them will carry the primary stress, and that is what I've shown you here. So moment, the initial syllable, is stressed. Waitress, the same as in moment, the first syllable. Then live only has one syllable. And Barcelona has 4, and here it's the third one, Barcelona. Next year, again, only one syllable, go on. Here, actually, the on will be stressed even more than go. And then we have train, become. Here, the second syllable is stressed, and top, chef, both will be stressed. So this is one way of showing sentence stress. And you can also see again, all the unstressed words are the words also where we have a lot of weak forms and a lot of schwa sounds. Because remember, the schwa only appears in unstressed syllables. I hope this has been helpful. And if you have any more questions about transcribing speech using IPA, please leave a comment below.